Welcome back to Listen to English. This is the final extended video in our C1 Advanced series. We have intentionally made this episode longer and denser. The vocabulary is sophisticated, and the concepts are nuanced and psychological. If you are ready for a significant challenge before we move to C2 proficiency, you are in the right place. Today, we introduce a new voice. Meet Zara. On the surface, she looks like she has it all figured out. But today, she's going to tell you, in detail, why that aesthetic perfection is slowly crushing her soul. Settle in. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everyone, I'm Zara. If you stumbled across my Instagram feed right now, without knowing me, you would probably hate me. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you. My feed is a sanctuary of calm. It's a highly curated mood board of beige tones, oatmeal-colored linen sheets, minimalist mid-century furniture, and artisanal ceramic mugs. I post photos of my workspace where everything is perfectly aligned, bathed in soft morning light. I look organized. I look serene. I look like one of those women who has somehow transcended stress through the power of expensive matcha tea. I am here today to make a confession. It is all a lie. A beautifully filtered, color-corrected, meticulously composed lie. I am performing a version of myself, a digital avatar that doesn't actually exist. Let me tell you what was just outside the frame of that perfect slow morning latte photo I posted today. There is a laundry mountain that has been growing on the chair in my bedroom for 10 days. I'm currently wearing sweatpants with a questionable stain on them. My minimalist desk is usually buried under a chaotic avalanche of unpaid bills, 3 empty coffee cups with mold growing in them, and 50 sticky notes screaming at me about deadlines. We need to have a serious conversation about the exhaustion of the curated self. We live in an era where we are expected to be the art directors, set designers, and public relations managers of our own private lives. Every moment, no matter how mundane, must be aestheticized. Every meal must be photogenic before it is edible. I'm a freelance graphic designer, so I literally do this aesthetic work for a living. But applying that same rigid standard to my actual human existence is draining my soul. I spent 20 minutes this morning arranging a croissant and a book on a table just to take a picture of it for my stories. By the time I actually ate the croissant, it was stone cold and stale. I traded a genuine experience for a piece of digital content that people will look at for 3 seconds and forget. Why do we do this? Why do we prioritize performing wellness over actually being well? You know the trend I'm talking about. You've seen her on TikTok and Reels, the that girl aesthetic, the ultimate modern woman. She wakes up at 5 a.m., apparently without an alarm clock, looking refreshed. The first thing she does is meditate in a sunbeam. Then she drinks a large glass of green sludge that smells like pond water but promises gut health. She works out in a matching, incredibly expensive activewear set in a muted pastel color. She has a 12-step skincare routine involving serums with names I can't even pronounce, costing hundreds of dollars a month. Her apartment is filled with lush, thriving fiddle-leaf fig plants that never seem to get brown leaves. Trying to live up to this impossible standard isn't healthy. It is paralyzing. This is what I call performative wellness. It's self-care that has been weaponized and turned into a competitive sport. It's not about feeling good. It's about looking like you feel good to an external audience. I bought into it. I bought all the serums. I bought the expensive candles that are supposed to smell like calm and clarity. I forced myself to drink the green sludge. And you know what? I'm still anxious. I'm just anxious with very moisturized skin in a room that smells like lavender and debt. The pressure to maintain this aesthetic facade is ubiquitous and insidious. Whether you are rushing to an office in Sydney, managing family expectations in Mumbai, or freelancing in Algiers, your phone is constantly feeding you images of women who seem to handle the complexity of modern life effortlessly. It creates this profound cognitive dissonance. You look at your own life, which is messy, chaotic, sometimes ugly, and definitely not beige, and you feel like a failure. You feel like everyone else has access to a secret instruction manual for life that you never received. But the aesthetic pressure, as exhausting as it is just the surface level. It's the tip of the iceberg. The real killer, the thing that leads to deep, systemic burnout in women my age, is what lies underneath, the things you can't photograph and put on Instagram. Let's talk about invisible labor and the crushing weight of the mental load. This is the endless, unpaid, unacknowledged project management required to keep a human life and a household running. And let's be brutally honest. Statistics and lived experience show this burden still falls disproportionately on women, even when we work full-time, demanding jobs just like our partners. Now, my partner is a great guy. He's a modern man. He helps. If I explicitly ask him to do the dishes, he will do the dishes. If I give him a grocery list, he will go to the store. But the mental load isn't doing the dishes. The mental load is the cognitive energy required to notice that the dishes need to be done in the first place. It's knowing that we are running low on dish soap and remembering to add it to a list 3 days before it runs out. It's not just buying a gift for his mother's birthday. It's being the one who remembers her birthday is next week, researching an appropriate gift, ordering it on time, wrapping it, and buying a card. It's scheduling the vet appointment for the cat because you noticed she's scratching her ear more than usual. It's knowing which socks belong to whom and managing the social calendar so we don't double book weekends. It is a constant, low-level cognitive burden, buzzing in the background of my brain, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I like to describe it like this. Imagine your brain is a computer browser. My partner has maybe 5 tabs open. Work, sports, dinner plans, maybe a hobby. I have 75 tabs open all the time, and I cannot close any of them because if I do, the household infrastructure collapses. It drains your battery, but nobody sees the processing power it takes. If I drop the ball, life gets chaotic. If I don't remember to buy toilet paper, we don't have toilet paper. Being the household CEO without the salary or the recognition is deeply exhausting. And then, on top of the logistical load, there is the emotional labor and caretaking. This is the expectation that women are the designated managers of the emotional climate of everyone around them at home and at work. In my career, I have to be successful and competent, yes, but I also have to be nice. I have to be accommodating. I have to walk this tightrope between being assertive and being perceived as bossy or difficult. I find myself spending enormous amounts of energy softening my emails. I add unnecessary exclamation marks. I use emojis to seem less threatening. I apologize when I haven't done anything wrong, just to smooth over a potential conflict. Sorry to bother you, but could you please pay the invoice that is 3 weeks late? And at home, if I'm stressed about a client deadline and also worrying about the overflowing laundry basket and the fact that we need to book flights for a summer wedding, I can't just be grumpy. I feel pressure to be the cool, calm, collected partner. I have to gently communicate my needs instead of just snapping, even though I feel like snapping. I have to absorb other people's stress and de-escalate it while managing my own. Holding up that mask, the mask of effortless competence and emotional stability, is heavier than any physical weight I lift in those expensive gym sets. So, where does this leave us? I am tired. I am bone tired of performing a version of myself that doesn't exist. I am tired of curating my existence for an audience that is probably just as exhausted as I am. I think the most radical, subversive thing we can do as modern women is to stop pretending. We need to admit that we are overwhelmed. We need to admit that our houses are messy half the time, that our skincare routines are inconsistent, and that sometimes self-care means ordering greasy takeout 3 nights in a row and watching terrible reality TV because we do not have the mental bandwidth to cook a nutrient-dense aesthetic meal. We need to make the invisible labor visible. We need to stop acting like magic fairies who make clean socks appear in drawers and instead talk about the systems required to run a life. So, I'm going to try something new. A small act of rebellion. Tomorrow, I'm not posting my latte art. I'm going to post a photo of my laundry mountain. No filter, no clever caption. Just raw, unfiltered domestic chaos. It probably won't get many likes. It will ruin my grit aesthetic. But it will be the most honest thing I've shared all year. Anyway, thank you for letting me vent. I need to go now. I have to remember to buy overpriced avocados and artisanal bread because I promised a client I'd shoot some brunch lifestyle content, even though all I want to eat is cereal straight out of the box.
Wow, powerful stuff. Zara just articulated something that millions of people feel every single day, but rarely have the courage to say out loud. This was a massive episode. It was the final, and perhaps most challenging, video in our C1 series for a reason. Think about the depth of what you just listened to. You tackled complex, abstract psychological concepts like cognitive dissonance, performative wellness, and the crushing weight of invisible labor. You navigated long, nuanced descriptions of emotional burdens and societal pressures. If you followed Zara's frustration with the curated self versus her messy reality, your English level is truly advanced. You are operating at a very high level of comprehension. You should be incredibly proud of your progress through this series. Now, we want to hear from you. Are you tired of the pressure to be perfect? Do you feel the weight of the mental load in your own life or culture? Share your reality in the comments, no filters allowed. Let's start an honest conversation. If you're ready to take the final step in your English journey, make sure you are subscribed to Listen to English. Our C2 Proficiency series is coming next, where we will push the boundaries even further. See you at the top level. Goodbye.